All right, so today we have slope-intercept form word problems. We're gonna write equations, tables, graphs, and evaluate those word problems. So first, why don't you go ahead and pause the video, read this word problem, and tell me what you know. Okay, so she decided to become a billionaire, and she originally has negative $8 because she had to buy the pencil. So originally has means 0 days has passed, and then negative $8 is going to be negative 8 on those days. Then it says every 3 days, so that's going to be a plus 3 here. She makes $2. If I make $2, that means I'm going to add 2. All right, so when I fill out my table, it's going to look like this. Okay, so here's my table. And then, so we have to decide if it's discrete or continuous, and it's discrete because we count money, and it's linear because we are adding or subtracting. So now we're gonna graph this because we need to write out the domain. So I'm gonna go ahead and graph this onto my graph here. All right, so here is my graph. So that means I can start writing out my domain. So looking at my graph here, remember domain is all about x values. So looking at my x-axis, it's going to be a 0, and then we have a 3, and then we have a 6. So my domain is going to be 0, 3, 6, and it's going to continue on after those days because it's a word problem, all right? So we do the list of numbers because it's discrete. So let's write out our equation now. So our equation uses this table. So we got y equals 2 over 3, so that I got those from here. X goes with what math we do, and then minus 8 is from the y-intercept. So the next question asks us how much money will she have after 27 days and show your work. Okay, so that 27 days, that's gonna be the X we replace. So what we can do is we can do y equals 2 over 3, replace the X with 27 minus 8, and figure out what that gives us. And it should give us 6. So after 27 days, she'll have $6. Not a lot, but we'll get there. So now I want you to read number 2. All right, so it says that he originally started walking. All right, so he originally started, that doesn't give us a time, so that's times 0. And that original speed, they said, was 9 miles per hour, so I'm gonna have a 9 here. Then it says every minute, so every minute, so that means adding 1, his speed decreases by 2. So decreases means we are going to subtract 2. So when I fill out my table, it's gonna look like this. All right, so now we gotta decide, is this discrete or continuous? Well, it's a speed, we measure speed, so that's a continuous graph. And then we are subtracting and adding, so that means we are linear, only exponential multiplies. To figure out the domain, well, I definitely know I'm gonna have a squiggly. So let's graph this. We got 0, 9. So I got 0, 9. Then we have 1, 7. So I have 1, 7. And then I have 2, 5. So I got 2, 5. Look at the pattern that's happening here. We know our graph is continuous. So we're going to draw a line here. But we can also continue this graph. See how it goes down to right 1? So I can keep going down to right 1. Down to right 1. So this is a continuous graph. So that means I'm going to graph it, put my little arrow at the end, because it's continuous. So when I write out my domain, it starts here at 0 with a closed dot. So I'm gonna have 0, closed dot, symbol, inequality, the mouth with the line. Don't forget your X, and it continues forever because we have an arrow. And then don't forget your closed squiggly. Now to write our equation. So we have y equals, I'm gonna have negative 2 over 1, right? Negative 2 over 1. Don't forget your X. And then we started with a y-intercept of a positive 9, so I'm gonna write plus 9. Now, what's the other way you can write this for extra credit? So the other way you can write this is y equals negative 2x plus 9. You can rewrite this negative 2 over 1 into just a negative 2. Okay, how fast was he walking after 5 minutes? So I'm going to show you the other way. So before we plugged it in, right? We took our equation we found, we replaced that x with a 27, and we plugged it in. Well, in this one, it says after 5 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend my table here, right? So I have 3, 4, 5 minutes. So this is what I'm looking for. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So after 5 minutes, he's walking negative 1 miles per hour. So you can extend the table, or you can take the equation and replace your x. Those are your two options. Both are good. All right, make sure you have your do now and your exit ticket done. And then don't forget to do your homework.